How's it going, everybody? It's PJ for Pete_J on YouTube, PJ Play on Twitch. We're coming to you from Plane Mechanics Simulator, and if you recall from our last episode, or if you missed it, we have moved on. We are now a member of the 105th Squadron. We are Corporal. We are a rank of Corporal, and we've moved on from the Spitfire to the Mosquito. We do have time limits on. We are not experts, nor do we want hints, so there we go. We're going to jump right in and get this going here. 2,000 hours in the hangar, which would be 8 o'clock at night in the hangar. Let's go 8 o'clock in the morning in the airfield. Alright, so yeah, we started the Mosquito last time, and if you hadn't seen it, it's I thought we did a pretty good job of going over, trying to establish where certain things are, so that as we move forward, we'll know. Obviously, the first mission was a pretty easy one. We just had to refuel and refill the fluids. So we found out the Mosquito has 4 separate fuel tanks. The 1 and 2 fuel tanks are on the outside of the wings, and the 3 and 4 are on the inside. So when you refuel the Mosquito, obviously it's a long-range bomber. So unlike the Spitfire, which is a kind of a fighter. So we've got task order number 07278. Our new pilot's name is Charles Richardson.
One of the guys crashed during yesterday's landing, and now the CO wants us all to practice patterns. Please check the wheels so there won't be any surprises.
So we have to refuel the aircraft and check the undercarriage. And again, like I said, this is it is a different airfield too. I mean, that is kind of cool. We're going to go ahead and start the refueling process. We're going to start with 1. As I said, that's going to be on the outside of the wing. 3 will be right here on the inside, and then 2 and 4 are on the opposite wing. We'll go ahead and start the fuel. Open up the, then you can see it's got the dual fuel tanks. Again, this is a bomber and not a fighter. The Spitfire was a fighter, so a little bit of a different, gotta be careful. I had taken my eyes off the prize for a minute there. Okay, so we've got 1, hopefully it's not overfilled. We're going to go with 2. Because again, you know, the one thing about planes is they have to maintain balance. So if you do 1 and 3, it's going to be heavy to this side. So I got something in my throat. So you kind of want to make sure you're filling them evenly. I believe anyway. And does not take long for it to fuel up. So we're going to pull that hose out. There she is, secured. We can go ahead and refuel level 3. Like I said, that's going to be on the inside of the wing here. And we'll get that one going. We have not had to rearm the plane yet, so I'm looking forward to that. Like I said, we're just doing fuel, and then we'll have to check the undercarriage, more precisely the landing gear, I'm assuming. Okay, and we got 1 more fuel tank, and that's going to be 4. That's just on the other side of the cockpit. You got the nose gunner's position here. There you go, last one. Then we'll be able to send this on its way. Then we're all balanced, so everything's balanced up. I don't know if we, I may just jack it up. I have not jacked up the Mosquito yet, so I don't know what it looks like or what the procedure is, so wouldn't hurt to go through it now. It's not a non-timed mission. That's one of the things I've learned kind of early, is when you have these early missions and they're not timed, it's a good opportunity for you to kind of look around the plane and figure out where things are and how things are situated. I can take off. I do like this much wider open space here for our bomber. Okay, so we've gotten that one done. Let's see about jacking things up. We're going to take the lift. And there is a spot, I believe, under the wing here. Yeah, there it is. Oop. There it is. And we can use the lift. Alright, so there's that one. Then we got another one back here. Take that. Same situation. We'll get this. And we'll use the lift. Okay. Alright, so there's these. Let's go ahead and get into investigative mode. We're going to crouch. We're just going to start investigating things. Let's investigate the wheel. The wheel is damaged. Okay, we cannot, does not seem as though we can investigate any of the rest of this. Right? Yeah, it's not allowing us, with the exception of the wheel. That seems to be the only thing we can. That's the only, seems to be the only thing we can select here on the landing gear. So let's go in here. That one's pristine. And again, nothing else is selectable. At least not yet. My feeling is as you go along and as they start to give you different missions, more missions. That's the oil filter. We learned that last time. Okay. That's the jack, right? Yeah, that's just the jack. Okay. Alright, well, let's tend to the wheel. So we're going to disconnect. Let's go to 1, and we're going to remove this wheel.
No.
Alright, we have to remove the axle cap first. Well, I can understand that. In order to remove the wheels, we have to remove the axle caps. Got it. Now I should be able to, yes, there we go. Okay. So we do have a couple axle caps. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Disconnect by hitting the right bar. Let's stand up. They did move our workbench. It's over here. Space bar. We cannot work on anything, but let's take a look. Yeah, so the wheel axle caps are pristine. We will definitely have to check that on the other wheel. Now that we know that's a possibility. Wheel. Make sure you get the check mark. Alright, so there's that. Now we're going to go ahead and crouch. We're going to go to our 2. And we'll put the new wheel in. And we'll put our wheel axle caps back on. Alright, so that's one side. The other side. Kind of looking forward to being able to reload and rearm. Let's take a look at these axle caps because I think we should be able to. That one's pristine. That one's pristine. Okay. Let's step out. We're going to stand up. Let's remove our jacks now. I thought those cups would be where the jacks went, but we're going to lift service back. Okay, that doesn't work. Take the lift. That's what we got to do. We're going to put it over here. And we got to take this one here. We're going to let it down. Now we're going to go ahead and take this and put it, take the lift. Alright, we're going to put that back over this way. Alright, so that's 2 of the undercarriages. I think this jack, lift, it's a lift. I think this one is for the back end. I think that's where it goes right there. Yep. And then we're going to Use the lift. There you go. Okay. Now we're going to come around back here. Well, actually, we probably should have stayed where we were at. And we're going to hit the 3. Well, we are in 3. Okay, so the tail wheel is damaged. Okay. And anything else we can select here? No, but I think as soon as we go to take it off, I think they're going to tell us we got to... Okay. Okay. Alright, disengage by hitting the right button. Let's stand up. Let's take a look at our inventory. We just got a tail wheel, so they don't have anything else. Oh, never take things for granted. You always want to double check. Make sure, if you can. Word, it won't even. There we go. I was going to say, it won't even let me. Alright, here we go. So we'll take care of this tail wheel. Acquisition a new one. Okay. Crouch. There we go. There we go. I don't remember that pin there before though. That seems a little weird. But disengage. We're gonna grab this. I'll lower the lift. Oh. Now I want to take the lift. Okay, I want to stand up. Put this back here. There you go. Alright. So our second mission with the Mosquito is done and in the books. Oh, sorry about that. Literally just my hand spasmed. That's the weirdest thing. Alright, let's go ahead and close her up. Close her down here. And we're going to sign off on that. Check the undercarriage. Perfect job. Alright, we're at 2,844 merit points. We have to get to 3,500 for our next promotion. We're going to continue our career. Alright, order number 07300.
During the flight today, I noticed small flames coming from the right engine's exhaust. Make sure it's nothing serious.
Refuel the aircraft. Fix the problem with flames from the right engine exhaust. Alright, refuel the aircraft. Let's do that first. The right engine, which I think would be refuel 1. Fill her up. Alright, so we got a problem with the right engine. So we're moving right along here. I think the next promotion we get is going to allow us to unlock all of the attributes. So we'll have I think we'll have all of the attributes. I think yeah, so that'll be cool and should help us in our quest to be better mechanics. Alright. Fill that one up. Refueling, though, has taken on a whole new time here. It takes a lot longer to refuel these bombers than it did to refuel the Spitfire, but... And again, I'm looking forward to rearming the Mosquito. It's something we have not done yet, but I gotta figure that at some point we're gonna see some live action, so we're gonna need to be loaded for bear. Alright, here's the last of the fuel. Seems like they use fuel tank 4 first, so maybe it goes in reverse order. They start at 4, then 3, then 2, then 1. Because the last 2 refuelings we had, the number 4 tank was much lower than the rest of them were. Alright, detach, pull the hose out. There you go. Alright, so they're saying flames coming out of the right engine, which you gotta figure if you're sitting in the pilot seat, the right engine's over here. Starboard. The starboard engine or the port, right? Port. So I'm thinking it's starboard. Let's get our ladder. Which exhaust? Well, let's start here, I guess.
Nope.
We gotta pull this exhaust cowl first. And it almost seems as though the side cowling goes on, and then the top cowling goes on. And you cannot remove it. You can't just pull the top. Get in. Oh, I didn't mean to do that.
No.
I know. I just had to re-engage. Okay, so here's 3. And there's our generator, and that's pristine. Manifold is pristine. Okay. Let's go around this side here, and let's take off this other side. Yeah, and we got to take all of this off because we are eventually, I assume we're going to wind up having to take the top shroud off. Okay, so the manifolds are pristine. We're going to remove this top cowling now. Alright, we're missing it. Alright. So here's where we got it. So I'm assuming we have to look at the cylinders. So if we, I didn't mean to do that. Right coolant outlet pipe. Hydraulic pump. I'm trying to figure out which one do we think was shooting flames or had flames coming out of it. Let's remove this. Shroud. And the manifold. We'll get to the bottom of it. I'm not 100% sure. Wondering if the, could it be that the mixture is too rich? I think we're looking at a bad valve right there. We in 3? I don't have the valve thing yet, do I? Oh, that's a kick in the pants. Okay, so let's pull this rocker arm assembly, and let's miss all the bolts our first time through. Alright, come on now. That one's shot right there. This one here. I'm almost positive. Can I, yep, damaged. Pristine. Valve head's fine. There's another damaged one. That one I didn't notice. It didn't look bad to me. We're gonna have to check the other side as well. I'm also thinking we may want to check the you know what? Let's change those first before we dig too deep, because I would think you want to check the valve head gasket, the cylinder head gasket, before you were just to say, okay, that's it, right? This is the only problem. As long as you're this far in. Let's see. Rocker arm mechanism is fine, but we're going to pull it so we can check these other valves. Alright. Okay. Alright, let's do 3, and we're going to walk through. That's pristine. I always, yeah, once we get to this part where you're starting to take them apart, and you get here, I always feel like you should go all the way, because you never know if you're going to run into, one of the other things you could run into is some bad rings, right? Some piston rings that have gone, and obviously, as I mentioned, the cylinder head gasket could go, so you never know. Okay, this one actually looks fine. So let's put the rocker mechanism back in, and we'll put the head back on, because it seems like it's from the initial investigation, it looks like it's the other side. And like I said, what we'll do is we'll go ahead and pull those 2 valves. We'll go and requisition 2 new ones, because I don't think you can fix them. And if we get the tympany of completion, then we know that was it. If not, then I think we're going to have to do some more digging. But we're going to start by grabbing this one here. No, I don't want that. Just want the valve. Thank you. I'm going to say, what are you doing to me here? Alright. So we got 2 valves. We're going to detach. Getting our right mouse button. Let's go see. Again, I don't think we can do anything with valves, but we don't ever take anything for granted here. We're going to go ahead and double check. We'll get we'll requisition a couple of new valves. 2 of them. There they are. Heavy as heck. Those are Spitfires, I think, right? Back up. Let's go to installation mode. We're gonna get here. That new valve there. We got it. Okay. So that was it. All primary tasks complete. Alright, let's just button this thing back up. And then we'll sign off on our work order, and we got another one done. And we're moving forward, which is good. All right. Yeah, very cool. So I'm feeling pretty good already about this new plane we have. I'm feeling kind of comfortable. Again, we did learn a lot with the Spitfire, and a lot of it does seem to be carrying over at least a bit. So don't feel like I'm completely in the dark, you know. All right. So the top cowling can go back on. Those are back here. Okay. Ooh, I think we're in the pilot's seat here. What are those? Am I gonna have to fix those at some point? All right. And starboard exhaust shroud. Oh, there's one back there, I think, that I missed. No, got it. Okay. Watch out. I wonder if I could just sign off on it once it tells me I'm done. I kind of feel like you need to button everything back up, right? And we do get the perfect job ranking, so I think that's pretty good. Oh, okay. All right, so there we are. And F12 that puppy. There we go. All right. Sign off. Refuel the aircraft, check. Fix the problem with flames from the right engine exhaust. Got it. Perfect job. 2,884. Again, we're just making our way through here. What's next, Chief? Let's get her done. 07311 is the order number.
We were testing the bird's max speed capabilities on our last mission, which must have boiled the coolant. Make sure there's enough of it for the next flight.
Refuel the aircraft and refill the coolant. You got it. Okay. We're getting to be old hat with this. Again, they really kind of drum it into you, which is, I think, pretty much what they do. Yeah. I remember when I came up and was working maintenance. You know, that's what they did. They sent you out on the same mission over and over. I'm just saying, main mission, the same job over and over again, until it gets to the point where it's almost second nature. And then they don't have to worry about sending you out on that job anymore, you know? So, I figure that's probably the same thing with this. They have you do the easy stuff over and over again so that you can do it practically in your sleep, you know? Not that they want you to do it in your sleep, but they were pushing the envelope on how fast this bird can go. I'm hoping before we get out here, we're going to do our normal hour. I'm hoping before we get out of here, we do get to reload or rearm. I'm not sure what they would consider it. Okay, and then fuel tank 3. All right. Okay. Yeah, they were really pushing this thing. Like I say, 4 is usually the one I guess they draw from first and most. So I'm almost assuming that when we get it, 4 will probably be pretty close to empty. And 3, I think, would be second. So like I say, I feel like it's almost in inverse order. All right, let's pull it. Now we're going to go 4. Fill it up. pretty low. And again, I still say that that's probably the lowest of all 4 of the fuel tanks. I think 4 was probably the lowest, but I think 3 comes pretty close. Alright, so we're halfway through the episode here. We've gotten ourselves going again. Each job asks a little bit more from us each time. We got the timpani of completion. We will remove that hose. There she goes. Okay. So we got to check coolant. And we learned last time that the coolant access is on the right of each engine. We're going to put our ladder here. We're going to go up. There's the coolant access door. We're going to open that up. Is there a way to check the level without pristine cap? The only way I know of, right, of being able to check the coolant levels, you have to have coolant with you, right? And once you have the coolant with you, then when you go to the access door now, I think we're going 1. Didn't mean to take that off. Okay, so we can see that this is the only way though that I know how to get this. Is there a way to check the coolant level without having to go through all of this? Can I just check the level without? That's my question. Although to be honest with you, it's not really that big a deal, but alright, so we're gonna go disconnect. Gotta jump down, turn around, do what you do. 1 down. Here we go. What am I doing? No, I don't want to do that. I want to do that. Spacebar, spacebar. So when you get there, yeah, you just have to hit the space bar. Alright, we'll disconnect. 2 and put the cap back on. Yeah, it won't let me do that until I put this down. Okay, so the right side of the engine, which will be over here. Can I drop this here? No. Put that up front though, so that way we know that's the one we should start with. Alright, so close the access door. We'll lock that up. Disengage. Let's grab our ladder. Alright, here we go. Open that up. Engage. We're going to go grab this one. We'll finish this off in here. Move the tank cap. Really cool. Okay. Yeah, these were both well below where they should be. There you go. Sometimes it just doesn't want to let go of it, you know? Up the ladder. Space bar. Alright. Disengage. Let's put the cap back on. Again, we're going to kind of separate this so we know that it's not completely full. We'll start with that one next time in case we have to some more coolant. Disengage. Grab our ladder. That back over this way. There we go. And we got another one done, folks. Here they come. Trolling overhead. Oh, climb the wing. Okay, let's do that. If I crouch, right? Oop, oop. F12. Okay. Let's get down. Alright, here we go. I'm going to let this one go now too. Sign off on that. I'm hoping we get up over... Oh, no, we're not. Can we get there? 2,924. We can continue our career. Here we go. What do we got next? What do we got next? Order number 07322. Charles Richardson. I got to start remembering his name. Charles Richardson is our pilot.
Are you sure you checked that coolant? The engines keep overheating. In any case, make sure it will work tomorrow.
Refuel the aircraft and fix the problem with the coolant temperature. Well, I got to figure. Right? My figuring would put me in a situation of possibly radiator, right? So we will refuel first, and then we'll check out the radiators. These are pretty low. Look at that. So, just trying. I'm just guessing, you know, but 1 and 4 and 1 maybe. All right, let's give it a little bit. There we go. Disconnect. Pull the hose. Okay. Refuel 2. Alright. And add some fuel. Again, these are all pretty low. I would be surprised if there was... Well, I guess that's the whole point of the 4 fuel tanks, right? Is that so that none of them actually ever goes completely dry. Is done. But based on 1 and 2, I would have to think that when we get to 4, that thing's got to be just bone dry. But what do I know? Not a whole lot. Pull it up, yeah. I mean, look at how low that is. And if I'm correct in believing that tank 4 is the one that's the first one to be drawn from, then I would have to think, given the state of these other ones, that's got to be dry. But we'll keep them in the air, right? That's what we got to do. That's our job, and that's when we take pride in it. We'll make sure we keep them flying, man. And that's enough for you. That's enough for you, fella. Alright, last but not least, let's see where 4 is at. Like I say, I guess I gotta believe maybe there's a fail-safe or something to keep them from running completely dry. Yeah, but that's probably as low as you can get it right there. I'm still hoping to see some reloading, rearming mission before we go, and I'm kind of hoping that we might even be able to get to the next promotion spot. Lots going on here in the on the airfield. All right, detach, pull the hose. There they go. Alright, man. So we're still having problems with coolant temperature running too hot. So we're going to check all of them. We're going to head up here. Can I crouch? I can crouch. Okay, we're going to hit 3. So that radiator's okay. It's actually pristine. So that is not the radiator we are looking for. Ooh. Again, I think the reason why we're seeing this, the colors, is as one of my attributes that I've acquired through promotion, I think is that it shows me the cooling system. I chose the cooling system. So it shows me just when I hit the investigation tool, as soon as it comes up, those parts have already been checked. So that's why it comes up immediately. All right, so I think we got to remove this. That's fine. So we want to remove the leading edge. We're going to pull this. As long as we're here, let's check the oil radiator. That is fine. Okay. All right, let's take care of. Oh, I'm hitting the wrong button. Sorry about that, folks. Let's go back to 1. We're gonna be 1. We have. We're crouched. Okay, we've got the radiator. We're going to double check to make sure that we, again, we get special commendation for making sure we're not wasting parts. So I will always check coolant radiator number 1. There we go. We got it. Up the ladder we go. Crouch again. 2, we're going to put that radiator back in the new one. That one's fixed. 3 bolts and then the radiator bottom leading edge. Okay, so that was 1 part, right? Alright. I think they're telling me that was only 1 part. Because I did not get the timpani of completion. Is there anything in the back of the radiator that I may have missed? So we've got it. Let's take it out one more time.
No.
Okay. Alright, relax. Bingo, Bob. Alright, there's nothing back here, just copper tubing. But if we go here, can I test any of this stuff? I cannot test any of this stuff. And we test the oil cooler. Okay. So, there is something. It's not here. Okay. Leading edge. Okay. Let us get down, right? We have, I don't know what these things are. Engine cowling. That's pristine. Alright, let's get into the engine, I guess. We need to trace the coolant. We can check the tank. And of course.
No.
Okay. That's right. We got it. Okay. I'm not going to move the ladder. It just takes too long. But there's the coolant induction pipe, which runs along the top of the engine on both sides. Right now I'm concentrating on this one because it was the one that had the bad radiator. But we're definitely going to probably have to check the other engine as well. Alright, now we pull this off. There we go. This black pipe here, right along the top. There you go. Right coolant outlet pipe. Pristine, okay. tank is pristine. There's got to be a coolant pump. There's got to be a coolant. Ugh. Having issues trying to move around. Got to be a coolant pump pipe. Where would that be? Where is that coolant pump at? Y'all remember where? I think we found it, didn't we? Coolant pump. Let's pull this bottom cowling. Ah, missing so many of them. Alright, no, I don't want to take off the starter. I'm looking for, is that it? The hydraulic pump, but I don't think that's the coolant pump. Where is the coolant pump at? Oil filter. Hydraulic pump. Oil control valve. That's not what we're looking for though. Engine starter, we know that's charger. Hydraulic pump. I know there's a coolant pump somewhere. Is there? Pitch governor. Where could you be? The wheel cage. Okay. Not finding coolant pump. Coolant tank. We got this. That's hooked up to the hydraulic pump. So maybe they don't have a separate coolant pump? Charger. I don't think there's anything else. At least not on this engine. Anything else on this engine that really will come into play here. Okay. Suction pipe. Yep, I think we've pretty much tested everything we can test on this. I was almost positive there was a coolant pump somewhere. The block, we can't really do much with the block. And this is just stuff we can't really select. Alright, let's go take a look. Oh, sorry. Let's go take a look at the other one. See what's... stand up. Raise the ladder. Go up. Let's go to 3. All fine. Okay. All right, let's remove a
No,
key.
sir.
Yeah.
No.
I know. I meant to this thing here. Trying to go back through what we've already learned about the engine. I'm almost positive I saw coolant pumps somewhere, but I'm just wondering if maybe I'm still thinking about the Spitfire, because it's got the hydraulic pump, and the hydraulic pump seems to be connected to the coolant tank, so I'm assuming the hydraulic pump is what's pumping the coolant around the engine. Alright, let's get into investigative mode here. We've got coolant tank is in pristine condition. We've got coolant outlet pumps are in pristine condition. We've got a hydraulic pump up here, an air compressor there. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Okay. Hydraulic pump is damaged. Okay. Okay, disengage by hitting the right mouse button. Let's get down. We gotta go to 1 because we gotta take off the belly here. So that must be the case. There isn't a quote-unquote coolant pump. There's a hydraulic pump. Alright, I want to go over here. There she is there. So we're going to go ahead and hit the 1, and we'll remove the hydraulic pump. Okay. I'm going to disengage from there. I think we're going to go ahead and start throwing some of this back up here, and we're going to take the hydraulic pump over to the bench because I'm almost positive we should be able to fix the hydraulic pump. There's that. Stop. So this side we had a bad radiator. On the other side we got a bad hydraulic pump. But that should take care of our coolant issues. So hopefully. Okay. Now we don't need to leave this lying open like this. We'll get this back buttoned up. Okay, disconnect. We're gonna go over to the bench. I think we should be able to fix this part well enough. Hydraulic pump, there it is. Okay, so you can see how beat up that thing looks, huh? All right, let's start here. That was pretty low. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't like how low that was. The line starts to pick up speed, so once it hits the midway point, it's starting to move pretty quick. So it does get a little bit more difficult, and as you can see, it's already starting to look much better than it did when we first got it on the bench. All right, there we go. All right, we did it. So now we just gotta reinstall the hydraulic pump, and we're gonna grab that. Look at that! Look at how that worked, huh? Couldn't have done that in a million years if I wanted to. Wait, that was something new. Did you see that? Seemed to be something new. Take that off. Seemed to show something as I was putting it back up. Maybe it was just a visual anomaly. There it is. See that? So that's how, that's an air intake. Comes in through the front. That's that little screened area that goes up, and then I believe it enters into the supercharger. That's what these two holes here are. I'm trying to learn. So it comes in through here, goes up into the supercharger, and air cools the supercharger. Okay. You learn as you go, right? I mean, that's the whole thing about it, is you got to learn as you go. Okay, I think we got that. This top back on. All right. I don't think we're going to make either of my goals, which was either level up or to... Well, we'll see. We'll see what the next mission is. Hopefully it's a rearming. I would like to do that before we get off. But again, it's one of those things where I do like the game, and I recognize that what they're doing right now is they're trying to acquaint us with the new plane, so that we can start to feel a little bit more comfortable working on it. I wish I could get up higher, but I can't. And now I've jumped out, so I can't get back in, I don't think. Alright. So this is, while it seems like it's kind of a boring step, it's an important step, you know. This is what helps us get familiar with the new plane and familiar with where things are, so we can... Alright, so I think we got that all done. I'm gonna grab that, we're gonna take this over here, drop that there. F12 that. Alright, so we refueled the aircraft and we fixed the problem with the coolant temperature. Check. Check. We also say, I was going to say, we saved the spare parts, so it'll give us some extra cash for that. Some extra merit for that. Ah, still. Alright, let's continue the career. Our next mission, should we decide to keep it, is 07331. Again, Charles Richardson, gotta remember that.
There's a long-range flight planned for tomorrow, so make sure that the oil tanks are properly filled and check all the filters while you're at it.
Refuel the aircraft, refill the oil, and check the oil filters. Well, luckily, we did find those on our first episode, so we should be able to do that. First things first, we're going to refuel the aircraft. Bonk. There you go. We got a long range one tomorrow, huh? They are giving out those merits in dribs and drabs, ain't they? That's that. Pull that hose. Alright, so we're doing pretty well. I'm pretty excited that I'm feeling comfortable. At first blush, I was kind of concerned. Didn't exactly look like the Spitfire, but now you're starting to see where things start to cross over, and you're like, okay, it's not the same as the Spitfire, but it's not wholly completely different than the Spitfire either. So that filled pretty quickly. All right, so we're gonna pull the hose out. 2 down, 2 to go. There she is. I think that gotta wait till you hear that last thunk, and then you know it's ready to go back to work. Refuel. We'll have to check the oil. I think we'll check the filters first before we refill. I don't want to lose any oil if we don't have to, so we'll check the filters, make sure they're up to snuff, and then once we've done that, I think we can go ahead and refill Refill the oil, and then I think she'll be ready to rock and roll. There's that last thunk. We got one left. Oh, we are killing it. Richardson should be happy. We are killing it. He's got like the best crew this side of the Alleghenies. Is that a thing? I'm not even sure. Are the Alleghenies are mountains, right? I was gonna say the Mississippi, but we're a long way from the Mississippi. And maybe a mite too far to be able to say we're the best crew this side of the Mississippi. Alright, pull that hose out. And you can be on your way, sir. Thank you, my friend. Now we're going to crouch down here. We need to get into... Oop, I didn't mean to do that. Alright, so that's all we have to do is just... what did I do? I hit the left mouse button. So you come up here, left mouse button. That gives you the opportunity. Okay, so now we're going to go to 3. And we're going to go to the oil filter. That's pristine. Can't really check the oil tank though. Oil cap. Oh wow, that's pristine too. Okay, so that looks fine to me, right? Okay. So let's go back to 1, and we're going to stay in the crouch position because we're going to come around this way. We're going to go there. Around this way. We're going to go back to 3. That oil filter is damaged. What about the oil cap? The oil cap is pristine. Can't select the tank. So let's go to 1, which is remove, and we're going to remove this oil filter. Okay. Detach by hitting the right mouse button. Let's get out from underneath. Stand up. I don't know if we can fix the oil filter or not. Let's come over here. I think we used to be able to on the, yeah, we can. We used to be able to on the Spitfire. As you can see, it's kind of in bad shape. But as we go about fixing it, it should get better. There's that one. Now a little bit nicer. There you go. A little bit nicer still. 50% restored status. Again, that's down here in the lower left-hand corner if you're looking for it. Oof, that was a little soon, Pete. Look at that. Look at how nice she looks now. Okay, so we just gotta get this last one again. We're at 75%. Hit that. Got it. 100%. Love it when a plan comes together. Okay, let's go ahead and... I can't remember which side we were on. I think this is the side, right? We're gonna left click. Come back under here. And 3, 2. There it is. Alright, so we got one more task completed. Now that we know that the oil filters are in good shape, do I have to go all the way over there, or can I just grab it from here? No, I gotta get it from here. Okay. So we're going to, we've got 2 oil tanks, one on each engine. Refill the oil on 1, which is the one that's closest to us. That goes up underneath. It automatically connects, so we don't have to worry about it. Again, same thing with the coolant. I don't think there's any other way to check the oil fluid level outside of connecting, you know. So if we go to refill the oil, now we can see where our level is at, but I don't know of any other way to check it. So if somebody else out there knows, I'd be interested in hearing it, but this is outside of connecting so that you can, you know, refill. I don't know of any other way to do it. You can see the minimum and the maximum lines are very close together. I don't like just ending at the minimum because then you could be too low, but by the same time, if you get too close to the max, you'll overflow, and that causes damage as well, as I found out. So I really try to get into the middle, but as you can see, this is going to be a tough one to try and do that with. Once we get close enough, I'll have to try riding the handle here. Okay, all right, we're getting close. All right, we're a little bit over. space, pull the hose out. Okay, and as you can hear, it automatically closes it off. We'll go to refill oil on 2. Same situation, you just got to step up to it, hit the space bar, refill the oil, and that's low as well. Throw her all the way open, let her fill herself up, and then same thing, we'll just ride the handle once we get close. And I try to get between. But, you know, barring any sort of major malfunction, we should have this one done and dusted. And Richardson will be able to take this on that long-range trip that they're planning. Wow, the fluids, filling the fluids on this one, it really takes a while. Alright, we're starting to get close, so I'm going to start to back up, and it's harder to see with the background. Alright, we're there. All primary tasks complete, pull the hose out. Alright, and you can go oil pan back, that's what you want. Okay. So there we are, folks. Another day in paradise, huh? F12. Sign off. Refuel the aircraft. Refill the oil. Check the oil filters. Save spare parts. Perfect job. Alright, we're over 3,000. So we need 480 more merit points to get our promotion. Refuel the aircraft, refill the coolant, and check the pistons and the rings. Okay, that's going to require a lot more. So we're gonna call an end to it here. We're gonna pick up order number 07342 next time, and we will make sure that Charles Richardson is able to complete his tasks and get his missions done. So until I see you again, be back here next Wednesday morning, playing Mechanic Simulator. Hopefully look around the channel. Lots of simulation games going on. Until I see you again, be safe, be well, be good, and be back here next time, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.